Okay, so if we were in the key of C and we wanted to play up the harmonized scale, let's say a measure each, we could just play these triads in order. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, this is the 6th chord, and the 7th chord is B diminished, and back to 1 again. It gets pretty tight up here. Or we could just start at the beginning again down here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and those are major triads, and they're every bit as valid as a C major chord going like this, or a D minor chord, or E minor chord in this fashion, but they're just a different type of chord structure. They're just a lighter, less thick sounding chord, and not as dense of a chord. These are smaller triad shapes. Okay, so let's practice them up the chord scale. Let's go with our little reggae groove here, and let's just go up the chord scale, and we'll use our little kind of reggae thing like this. We'll go C major, D minor, upbeats, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, back to C. Excellent. All right, that was pretty fun, huh? Let's just put a little bass in there. Back to D minor. E minor. F major, here comes G major. Daniel's rocking out. Hey Daniel. A minor. And here comes B diminished. Back to C. Okay, so notice that the bass was just staying on the C as I was going up through the chord scale, which kind of makes for some interesting sounds, because while I was having the bass play in C, I was playing all these different triads, and they all sounded nice against C. They just created different flavors against the C root. So these triads become very multi-purpose. They don't just have to imply, this triad just doesn't have to be C. You're going to learn how to make this triad become other kinds of chords when you blend it on top of other things. So it's good to have chords that don't have a lot of low end in them, because then you can mix them with other chords to create more extended kinds of sophisticated chords. So these really become handy, okay? In a variety of reasons. Okay. Let's do them in another key just to challenge you and put you on the spot a little bit here. Let's say we weren't going to do C. Let's say, for example, we were going to play the key of E, okay? So if we start on the E chord here, what's the situation we've got now? Well, interestingly enough, we're halfway up the neck and we've just got the 1 chord right here. So do we keep playing all the way up to the octave like we did here on C? No, we're going to run out of frets here. It's going to be too tight. So we're going to only go up a few chords in the key of E. And then we're going to have to find ourselves jumping down here and continuing the chord scale to get to the B chord the C sharp and the D sharp diminished right here. And that's perfectly okay to do that. So check it out. Here's E major. The root is right here on the 3rd string. And here's the 2nd chord of the scale, F sharp. It's still pretty playable right there. Okay. I'm going to go to the next chord, the G sharp. It's pretty still comfortable for us. E major, F sharp, G sharp minor. Remember 2 and 3 are minor. 4 chord is major. Okay. Okay, now we're getting a little tight here because the frets are close together. It's kind of hard to keep playing on these 3-string triads this far up the neck. So what we'll do is we'll take the 5 chord, the B chord. Instead of playing it here, we're going to play it down an octave right here. Okay? So we jump down an octave. E, F sharp, G, A, B for the 5 chord. And then 6 chord then is following after the 5 chord, the C sharp root right here. 6 chord. And then finally the 7, D sharp diminished is right here, and we end up back on E, where we started. Okay, so let's do that. Oop. It's not going to work in C though. Let's go back to no bass. Here we go. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, key, a V. F sharp, minor, G sharp, A major, B major, way down here, C sharp minor, D sharp diminished, E major. Okay, let's try that again, but I'm going to play a different bass note. I'm going to play a B bass note this time. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Okay, against B, well, it's in the key of E, but it'll sound interesting against these chords. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Key of E, 2, 3, 4. Here comes an F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, back to B down here, C sharp minor, D sharp diminished, E major. Okay, so that just put you on, I wanted to put you on your feet a little bit and make you think. So we just did the key of C up and down, but then I put you on your feet and made you think about the key of E. Okay, so let's finish this whole thing by applying them to a fun progression. If I could get my progression, we'll hang on the board and I'll show you here in a second. Okay, so we're back, and you can see I've got a progression written out that's going to take advantage of our new triads that we just learned, our small, nice, bright triads that we just focused on. Let me erase this smuts over here and just let you focus on this progression here. Now, we're gonna use the triads that we just learned and move these around through the progression that I've written out in the key of E. Okay, we were just working on the key of E, so this is going to be fresh for you. However, I want you to see how good they're going to sound against other types of chords that I'm going to play. I'm going to record before we start the progression with the upper string triads, and that's going to demonstrate how effective these are going to be. I'm going to play this progression using just 8th note chords, but low 8th note voicings that are going to deal with the lower register, and then that'll let these chords, these upper string triads that we just studied, cut through in the top, and it'll be a good blend together. So here's our progression right here. But I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to play chords down here in the 8th notes, so you can hear how it's going to sound when we add the other chords on top, okay? So I'm going to go one time through and record it. Here we go. I'm recording learning this right now with low chords. Good. Now there's our chords with the eighth notes, right? I don't really hear the color of the chord yet. Well, let me not have to scream here. I don't hear the color of the chord yet because I haven't really played any chords with real structure yet. So that's where these upper structure triads are going to help us here. Okay, so now I've got the low power chords or thicker bottom end chords. Now I'm going to add these triads that we just learned. So let's do this together and play the rhythm that I've written out for you. So it's going to sound like this. It's going to be right? And back to E. And here comes A major, A minor. Okay, so that's going to add a real nice accent on top of these low chords. Okay, here we go. Follow along with the triads here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time, here we go. Okay, so you can really hear how these upper chords, these upper structure triads added a cut that this didn't provide. This is more like a low, almost like I'm doubling the bass here, and it sounds great, but it wasn't really giving you the upper structure of the chord. So that's what we wanted to do with these triads. We're going to use these a lot more in other lessons. Okay, so I want you to make sure you practice these in this string grouping that I showed you today, in a variety of different keys. Just start off arbitrarily on any key with this root structure and then try to go up as high as you can within reason, and then connect the remaining part of the key below it and build back into it. Okay, that'll be a good way to practice it. All right, I'll see you next lesson. Dave Hill signing off. Practice hard.